Hello, good evening. Welcome to the post-match reaction to Liverpool versus Leicester. Good solid win for the Reds. Joined by Kev and Ashley. Not sure how long Gav is going to be with us because poor Gav is feeling a bit under the weather.
Dying.
That's not anything fruity in that cup.
No.
Straightforward cup of tea.
Oh yeah, tea, yeah.
And Ashley has got a new member of the family. So hey, there he is. So what's his name?
His name's Toby.
Her name? His name's Toby.
Yeah.
Toby.
Toby's going to be famous in about 15 minutes when he barks. And the whole internet fucking has a meltdown because like we've ruined our Christmas because a dog has barked while someone's watching YouTube.
Apologies in advance if you bark.
No apologies. Go fuck yourselves. It's fucking Stevens' day and it's a dog.
Exactly. But listen, usually Boxing Day, Stevens' Day, football is like you get crazy results in days like today. And we'll get to our game in a minute, but today was no exception. What did you, Gav? What did you make of the results from today? Some of them were. It started off nuts.
Yeah. I you know what? I've seen a fair bit of Everton and City, and it was mad to watch both of them because I think Everton are deplorable, right? They are deplorable. They have no interest in passing the ball around. They just all sit back and they hope to hopefully hit something on the break. And then you watch City. And the funny thing was, right, I said it to, I think I might have said it in a WhatsApp group earlier saying, if City don't win this, because like Everton are appalling. But having said that, at half time, Everton passed the ball successfully 3 times in a row, about 3 times in that half, and they were in behind City on every occasion. Which was mad. City get the early enough goal. Everton equalised, and then it's like the penalty miss, and it's just the way City are at the minute. Everton, they've done really well. They've picked up some really good. Is that 3 draws in a row against? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's Arsenal, Chelsea, and City. They've all drawn with 2-0 all draws and a 1-all draw. And like someone said earlier, I think maybe Chris said they've gone back to being a bastard to break down. And I was like, not really. If you watch the game. Like City had loads of opportunities. Like that guy, what's his name? Savinho, is it? Savio Savinho.
Savinho,
like, is it in his contract he's not allowed to shoot? Like genuinely. Because he went past Mikalenko about 14 times in the first half on his left foot. And I'm thinking if that's Mo Salah, he's just letting that ball run 1 yard further and he's crashing it into the far corner.
Yeah.
But it went on from there. I didn't see Chelsea and Fulham. I seen the goals afterwards, but I was watching kind of, the apps, and I was kind of going, Fulham are well in there. They were well in it. Shots on target, corners, possession, all that, and they come out and they win it in the end, which was fantastic. Yeah. John Duran gets sent off for not just pushing the fellow over, then just trying to run all over him, which was mad. And Villa Lewis.
I haven't seen that one yet.
No, you will see it. It's mad. And West Ham, of course, got a win at Southampton. I'm trying to think of what other games were on today. Bournemouth and Palace. I think that finished 0-0. Or it was 0-0 the last time I seen it. So a bit of a mad day on different levels, with different teams and stuff. But another really good day by Liverpool.
Yeah, massive. I mean, actually, the 5:30 kickoff, Wolves Manchester United, 2 new Portuguese managers to the league, both playing identical systems.
Oh, I forgot about them. Sorry.
Yeah. Did you get a chance to watch any of it?
I did. I had it on in the background. What's the guy's name that's coaching them now?
Vitor Pereira, I think. He was the guy that Everton wanted.
Yeah.
The fans kicked off and said he's not good enough for us.
And they got Lampard.
And they got Frank Lampard.
I think it was one of the last.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Yeah, it was. They got Frank. But, I mean, it finished Wolves 2-0 win. And it wasn't close.
No. I mean, he's got them organized and he's got them. I think Gary O'Neill was just such when he went forward, there was no protection going back. And it seems like he's rectified that. He's somehow gotten them in the span of, a week to at least have some sort of defensive structure. And it didn't look close. I don't think United I don't know. There's so many areas that are an issue. It's hard to kind of pinpoint it's their defense. Oh, it's their midfield. Oh, it's their attack. It just seems like it's absolutely top to bottom. And then to have your captain sent off for an awful second yellow card, which probably could have been a red card on its own, was just sort of like the cherry on top, where it's just like if Amarin thought he had an idea of what he was getting himself into. Like, I think he probably has a completely different idea now. I don't know if he thought it was this bad because they're atrocious.
I mean, Gav, just come back to one thing on this before we move on to our game.
Yeah.
Was Dan Ashworth right? Ruben Amarin is not the right fit for this club, given the PSR problems that they have.
You could make that argument over any manager coming in because of the PSR issues they have. You know, I'm seeing links every day to Osimhen and Gyökeres and all these. I'm like, I don't even think they have the money to do that. But maybe they do. Maybe they pull it from somewhere. Rashford is left out again today, and people are saying he'd be gone, but in the window. But you know, and people think they're going to make a fortune on him. Like, I don't know why would they make a fortune on him? Like, anyone with any sense of winning, go, listen, Marcus, we'll pay you the 350 grand you're on at United, which will probably be a Saudi team or whatever, right? But we're only offering 10 million for you. That's it.
I can see him only going on loan. They might get a loan fee.
Maybe so, but it's too early on Amarin because my biggest thing with this is, like, there's loads of stuff going around, you know, it's just fucking leaks in the roof, there's mice infestation, they're cutting they're having a fucking ball boy at the game and steward of the match or mad stuff, like, just, it sounds like you're going into community games for the crack, you know. And you see all this in the background, and I'd say some of it's being overhyped, but it's being overhyped because of what's going on there. And, you know, the manager's trying to come in, he's trying to put players in probably square pegs and round holes or whatever. But my big thing with all these players is they're not even trying. Like, if you go in there, right, if you're Lenny Yoro or Harry Maguire, and who's been under severe stick in the Ten Hag and Solskjaer fucking reign, you'd be going, I'm going to give her everything for my team. You know, Maine, who overplayed last season, is getting back in the side, going to give her everything. Ericsson, jeez, I want another contract here. I'm going to give her. And you're looking at them all, they're all strolling around the place. And the thing, it doesn't matter how good you think these players are, or your manager, how good tactically he is, or how astute he is. If you don't match a Premier League team for effort in this league, you will win fucking nothing. End of story. You know what I mean? You will win nothing. And what you're seeing from City now is they're not matching teams for effort. That's a huge part of it. That's a huge part of it. And look, they've lost again today. You know, he's not going to get sacked or anything, but he has to be looking at them players going, give me a break, will you? You know what I mean? They're being outran, they're being outfought, they're being out-taught, they're making stupid decisions, and you know what? Good enough for them. Let them fucking keep doing it. And if they'll probably end up getting them to sack, they probably will, because it'll be that horrendous at the end of the season. They'll turn around and might go, and we don't have the money to overhaul this, and he can't seem to get a tune out of this. So does it match up? I don't know. I don't fucking care, to be honest with you.
It's just look
fun to watch. There was a great conversation in our Telegram chat about how every time one of the managers leaves, you think that, like, the show's over and that the plot's suddenly going to change, and all of a sudden they find a new way of just making it entertaining again. And it's like there's new problems every single time. And, like, I have no idea if Amarin was going to be the long-term answer to their questions. And it maybe, but at this moment, it's so entertaining to just watch. Like, it's like whack-a-mole. Every time they think one issue's closed, another pops up. And in some cases, it's literal rodents popping up outside of their stadium. So.
But you look at, if you look at the that game today, you Wolves sack Gary O'Neill after a loss at home to Ipswich. They go and they walk their bollocks off and they win away out at Leicester, right? We've seen tonight who were poor, right? Yeah. And you should be going into this game going, listen, they're on a bit of an up. But the only thing Wolves are doing is, yes, they're a bit more organised, but they're working so hard. So you should have went in and let's match them for effort, and we can back whoever we have on our side to cause more problems than Cunha or whoever, Strand Larson. And they don't. They just don't. No. You know what I mean? Like, Casemiro has been hounded at that club, and all of a sudden, he might be the strongest attacker they're bringing on, and you're like, this is mad. But
it is
Kev,
insane.
You know what? Fuck them and leave them to it. You know what I mean? In days gone by, they did sat and went, who cares about Liverpool? They're fucking brutal, and we were. And now they're brutal. So leave them to it. He's a huge job on his hands. Huge job on his hands. It's probably too big for, I would say, 95% of the managers on this planet. Yeah. That's how bad I think it is.
Mad. Listen, move on to the evening game, our game with Leicester. The way the table, everything panned out for us today. It was perfect. Chelsea losing, Arsenal not playing until tomorrow. Win today. and you've got a game in hand, you're 7 points clear, guaranteed to be top at the turn of the year. All these little landmarks, you just want to choke them off, and the earlier you can choke them off, the better. And starting lineups came in, few changes. We went with Alisson, Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, Robertson, Gravenberch, McAllister as your holding mids, Salah, Curtis Jones, Cody Gakpo, and Darwin Núñez up front for us. I mean, Ashley, you must have been full of confidence coming into this. See, on the back of everything that happened today and everything else, seeing the lineup, were you, bubbling when you saw that?
I mean, it's great when you see. It's great when you see results go your way throughout the day. I do think it adds like a little bit of extra, well, let's make it pay off. Like it adds like a little layer of extra pressure where you're like, well, let's not let this slip up. But I think, going into Leicester, I think, we're clearly favorites. I think the rotation was expected. I think it makes a lot of sense to, rotate while you can, while you have the strength. I think having players like Núñez come in or having players like Jones come in, that makes sense. I don't know if there's any truth to the rumor about Diaz's father. I think there was something going around that he was ill. But, seeing him rest on the bench, our bench looked really strong today. I thought Chiesa was a good inclusion. I think he was sick for a few days. So it was nice to see him on there as well. It was nice to see Jota there. There's just a lot of strength. And so, overall, I just felt very confident, not only with the selection, but also with the strength of our bench and what we were going forward with.
Yeah, I mean, Gav, the Leicester lineup came out, and they're kind of in a situation, really, they can't change too much, but missing Ndidi probably hurt them. But in someone like Patson Daka up front, Mavididi and Jordan Ayew, they've got pace experience, Premier League experience especially, but Connor Cody at the back, James Justin, Vandegaard, you expect to be rolling these over, don't you, really?
Yeah, and look, when the lineup comes out, I don't get too bothered by the lineups anymore. It's going to be Diaz, Gakpo, Jota, Núñez, Salah. It's going to be 3 out of 5. I think it made sense. Diaz put a big shift in against Spurs. It was a great game. It was a great win. But he did put in a big shift. And maybe there was something going on with his father, and if it was, hopefully everything's all right. But it made sense. You bring in Núñez, who only got 5 or 6 minutes, I think, away at Spurs, nothing major. You bring in Jones because Gravenberch just ran the legs off himself. Or not Gravenberch, Szoboszlai. He's missing the next game now because he gets booked. But it made sense to bring them in. And the way kind of Leicester were going to set out, Jones was okay in there because I think Jones is much better against a team that kind of sits in. I like Szoboszlai's running power against the more stretched side. But, absolutely fine. Back four is the back four. The goalkeeper's the goalkeeper. Gravenberch, McAllister, fine. Jones comes in, fine. Salah, Gakpo. Gakpo's in unbelievable form. And Diaz gets a rest, and Núñez does a bit, and then Jota gets a bit of time. It makes sense. And I don't overthink the lineup anymore, Kev, because you have to trust these players, And when people say, oh, yeah, but I'd like to see him start, I kind of go, yeah, but hold on. When this fella starts, if it's not so good, so for argument's sake, if Diaz starts up front and it's not so good, people going, oh, I'm missing Jota big time, but Jota doesn't start and we play Núñez, and Núñez gets an awful lot of abuse, and we get onto an offside decision later. But they're rotating nicely. I think Szoboszlai misses West Ham, but the rest of them go into West. The other 3, I think, go in. I think it's McAllister, Gakpo, and one other goes into the West Ham game. No, Bookham will take them out of the United game, but then the United game actually the decks are cleared. So it's a bit of a mad one with regards to them. But overall, Kev, the lineup's absolutely fine, and we're changing things around during games with the same personnel. We're changing it with substitutes. It's working so well at the minute, and it doesn't matter who he picks. I don't think we can give out because is he unbeaten in fucking 25 games?
21 games going into tonight. It's now 22.
22 games, okay.
Yeah.
But he's been beaten. He's lost one game in 28 or something like that.
The Forest game is the only
one game in 28,
lost.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's something like 55 unbeaten as a coach, including his time at Feyenoord.
Yeah, in this calendar year. His record this season is off the scale good. But I mean, we start the game, kickoff, and start dominating the ball. And I think 3 minutes in, we worked this really quick, intricate play in and around the box, created a chance. And I sat there and rubbing my hands. It's like, lovely. They're going to sit back. They'll sit off. And we'll create space. And then 2 minutes later, it was almost like slow motion for me. The way Trent was kind of caught out of position, but Gravenberch had come across and covered him. Stood off Mavididi a fair bit. But, enough so he could get a block on the cross. The cross gets across, but again, the cross that came across felt slow. Virgil got, I don't know, moved or jockeyed out of position. And Robertson got turned and went one way. The shot from Ayew, I think it was Ayew, came the other way. And it took a deflection off Virgil's heel. It took it away from Alisson, and we're one down. But it was complete for me. It was completely against the run of play. How did you see it? Because I just couldn't believe what I was watching. That it just felt like, how did that happen? And I was scratching my head like, how did this get across? Virgil didn't deal with it in the first place. Robertson got turned too easily, and Alisson couldn't get down. And I thought, what the hell's after happening there? It wasn't until half time that I actually saw the deflection that took it away from Alisson. But the rest of it was nuts.
Yeah, I think with the fog, I couldn't tell, but I think it was Gravenberch that was originally the one that was beaten by, I think
Mavididi,
yeah, him. And I think that was actually an outlet throughout the entire game. The connection between him and Ayew, there was a few times throughout the course of the game where he had the pace to beat our defender and then put a cross in toward Ayew. So whether I couldn't see, I think it was Gravenberch, it might have been Virgil, but he turned him, and then I think Robertson his position wasn't quite right when Ayew got the ball, and he turned Robbo, and then you're right, it did get a tiny deflection off of Virgil's foot, but it was one of those things where it felt like it was lazy defending. It felt like you weren't turned on from the start. It's one of those, we've said it before, we've had slow starts against the lower teams. Whether it's complacency or something that's sneaking in, I'm not quite sure. We've been pretty good against the, top 6 teams or the teams that we find to be like our big competitors. We seem to kick off right away. But with these teams that are a little bit further down the table, it just seems like we take our eye off the ball in the beginning of the game. And it's just another one of those things. And it was completely against the run of play, like you just said. And it was just unnecessary pressure, and it's fine. I mean, we recovered, and it's not the first time that Leicester has gone up against us. They went up early in the League Cup where we won 3-1 versus them again. So we have history of being able to rectify it, but it was just one of those things where it was annoying. I want to be able to keep a clean sheet, and we've let in quite a few goals the last couple of games, and I think that's something that it's something that Slot can work on, and that's good for him because he needs something to tweak.
Yeah, in fairness, not everything is perfect by any stretch, but Gav, how did you see it? I mean, it was frustrating for me watching it.
Yeah, look,
especially for how we started. We were really front foot, really aggressive. And we worked their defense. So it was almost like a gut punch, but also a bit of a reality check that, it's not everything is going to be easy.
Yeah. Look, your man gets down the left-hand side, and there's there 2 players in the Liverpool box. And you expect them to deal with it. It's knocked across. I'm going to be honest with you, I thought Robertson was all over the place, right? Because he's pirouetting. I don't know where the fuck he's going, But in saying that, he's given away a couple in the last while where he thought, well, stick my foot in here. I could be in trouble. I think Robertson tries to anticipate where the guy is going. He actually swivels, and he makes him look a bit foolish. I wouldn't even know if it's a decent effort, but like you said, it finds its way in the bottom corner. But these things happen, you know, and we're not going to go through the season. Like, let me put it this way: it happened 6 minutes in, right? They have a couple of shots on the 10th minute. You don't have another fucking shot for the rest of the game. And I think Rory Fitzgerald in the chat says they have one touch in the Liverpool box after 59 minutes. One touch. So these things will happen. Look, it happens after 6 minutes. You're like, I don't fucking believe this. Especially after what happened at Fulham going down early, and you're thinking, all it needs is one mistake here, and we're 2-0 down, we're a man down, and we're back at it again. But look, it happens. There's a couple of players that could do more. Definitely, I wouldn't pinpoint it on one. Gravenberch, does he do enough to block it? Virgil, where's Trent getting back? Where's Gomez? You can question a lot of them. It happens to be when it falls to AU. I think Robertson tries to anticipate something, it just goes completely the other way. And you have to give him a bit of credit. AU, the tone is good. He's probably a bit fortunate with the finish, but these things will happen. There's a league title to be won here, but we're not going to go from we're not going to play the next whatever it is 21 games and not concede a goal or not have a good turn by a striker or a good strike from a midfield from the other team. It just happens. And I'd much prefer to look at the positive reaction to it. Although it wasn't perfect, we literally went, listen, we took 5 minutes to get ourselves sorted. They had a couple of shots in quick succession, and then we just sorted and went, right, that's it. They're not fucking attacking us anymore. And we weren't brilliant going forward, but we are constantly on them, and they couldn't get out. And I didn't feel too nervous, Kev, to be honest with you.
No.
Even though I 1-0 down after 6 minutes.
Same. I mean, actually, we were all watching it. The domination in the first half was clear. We completely dominated the ball, and it got up to like the 20-25 minute mark, and so we were moving them around really well, but we weren't threatening their goal at all. But in that time, we had a few corners. Yeah. Robertson was they were all in swingers, a couple of short ones.
Yeah,
a couple of short ones. Robertson at least was beating the first man, but Trent's corners throughout the first half were nothing short of atrocious. But the one thing I would say is, if you watch the build-up for the corners, it's very Arsenal-esque. A lot of players now grouping in and around the back post, looking to make runs across. What did you make of that, as a whole? Because the deliveries, yes, were poor, but how do you find it?
I mean, I would have loved to have seen what the goal was, who they were trying to hit at the far post, because it never quite got there. It seemed like Trent was always hitting the first man. And credit where credit is due. They did switch it up about halfway through the game, where they started taking that short corner, and then they kind of passed it back to the corner taker to cross across the box. And that seemed like it was a lot more effective. So it's obviously an area that they've worked on. It's an area that we can improve on. We are not that strong at corners. We could be much, much stronger. We could definitely get more points that way. So it's encouraging to see that it's an area they're working on. I don't know. I think Trent is one of those players, when he's on it, it looks fantastic. But if it's like 3% off, all of a sudden it looks like he's a horrible at sending those balls. He's not. It's just, it's just marginal things. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they were going for, because I don't think there was ever a corner that actually got delivered the way it was supposed to get delivered.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a theory on it. It's literally, and Arsenal do this as well. If you're in the middle of the box, you're waiting for the delivery to come in, and you might get one or two players will have a couple of steps run up at the defenders, and you should be winning the ball in the air if you're getting a run on players. But if you're coming in from the back post, they don't have time to set. So they're on the move as well. And if the delivery is into an area, then you can attack an area. And I think that's kind of where they want to go at, is disrupting how sides defend, and in turn, how sides can counter from it. But 24 minutes in, we had a corner, and it turned out that Trent got the ball back. It got blocked at the near post. He got the ball back, whipped it across, and Robertson had a header, a really good, powerful header that rattled the post and almost went back off the keeper and went out the other side.
I think
at this stage,
it hit the keeper 3 times before it went out. It was one of those, felt like luck was against us at the time.
That's literally what I was going to say to Gav. Did you feel at the time, Gav, that, because at the time I think Salah had one that went just over the bar. Robbo has hit the post, and later on in the half we hit the crossbar again. Do you think it's going to be one of those fucking nights here? We've seen Leicester do this before.
No, you
they
see,
can frustrate you.
Yeah, they can. That's what they're there for. They're trying to frustrate you. They play with three big centre halves, you know. But my thing on it is, when I feel it's like one of those nights, it's always yeah, you can hit the post and stuff like that and think it's one of those nights. But I don't really get that when you're hitting posts, because I kind of think, you know, we're making chances here. If we continue to make chances, we'll take them. You know, I'm much more frustrated when I see a Liverpool side coming out. I remember a couple of years ago, I think, I'm trying to remember who it was at home we played against. Might have been Burnley. And we just constantly crossed the ball in the box. Like, constantly just lashed her in the box. And I was like, what is going on here? And doing the same thing and home for a different result, you know, the sort of way. Now, early in the game, this was applied, back post, wherever it might be, and then we start changing it. And I'm all for the short corner, make an angle, get it in, you know, because it means the defense has to move up. Or if they want to stand still, there's more room there for you to attack. And it's something, look, Liverpool, I don't know how good Liverpool are stats wise, as opposed to other sides with, you know, scoring goals from set pieces. I don't think we're great at it. That's my thinking on it, and that's
We
just me
should
off the
be.
top of my head.
You know,
But we
given the
should, yeah,
size, given our size,
yeah, we've big players, but you know, there's only so much room in the box, and there's only so much runs you can make. But if you're going to put it in the box, for me, put it on the penalty spot and let Gakpo and Nunes and Virgil or Kanate or whoever's in the, just go after it and see what happens. But I agree with you. The back post thing, I think, is actually a way of trying to move the team around, but I think it actually reduces the possible counter. You know, because when the ball travels to further out of corner, there's more chance of it going out on the far side, and you can reset. Whereas if you hit it short, it can be headed out this side of the pitch, and that's usually where the striker's standing. You know, this side, the opposition striker's usually this side of the pitch on the halfway line or just before the halfway. So I do agree with you on that. But no, I wasn't, and I sound very positive here, but I wasn't overly worried. I thought it'll come. You know, if they keep playing, and they did, they shut Leicester down in an attacking sense, and they done that. And I just thought it will come. But I just really wanted it to happen before halftime. Massively wanted it to happen before halftime.
On 45 minutes, we had probably the best chance, and it was Salah took the ball in onto his left foot, curled it, and you just expected it to slide under the bar, and it literally just kissed the crossbar, bounced perfectly, and you're like, shit. And you know, it's not minute later, ball gets out, finds its way out to Cody Gakpo, and is literally like trademark finish. Ash, what did you make of it?
I mean, it was the perfect time to score. I mean, it was one of those things where if you get like a clean reset, you go in kind of with your head held high at halftime. You have Slot able to, you know, have kind of a buoyant conversation with the players, but also be able to say, okay, this is what went wrong and this is what we're going to do differently. And I mean, the goal itself was just fantastic. I think, you know, for me, that was all his own work. I know that McAllister won the ball, and credit where credit is due there, but you know, Gakpo has this kind of signature move now where he comes in on the box, like along the box, and then he lets one of these long range shots go in. And he tried it, I think 3 or 4 times before that actually came off. And we needed that. We needed those long range shots just to kind of spice it up, because their defense was really set well. And, you know, although their defenders aren't, you know, the best in the league, they're older, they're a little bit more experienced. I think they're both over 30. And they were marshaling their defense really well. So to have Gakpo just take it on his own and just ask them a different question than what we had been asking them with all of the crosses, I think it was refreshing, and it's exactly what we needed.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn Boylan makes a point there that that's the most Gakpo goal you'll ever see.
Yeah.
And it is literally
it's his signature goal now.
Yeah, Mo has his, Cody has his now as well. Yeah. I mean, in fairness, I thought James Justin had a really good half. You know, in the main, he forced Gakpo to go wider than he wanted to, or he held him up enough to wait for help to be able to come and get hold of him. And to be fair, I always thought that he was going to get a move away from Leicester, but injuries have massively curtailed his career.
Which is a shame, because he was on the rise, quite early.
Really good player. Really good player. But I mean, Gav, you're going in 1-1, and I could only see one winner from there. But the one thing that I took away from the first half is we're too narrow. We were playing way too narrow. Even though we were putting plenty of crosses in the box, it just felt I wanted to see Trent holding his whiff a lot more to come out in the second half, because the way they defended was really narrow, allowing us the wings. We couldn't do anything with it. I mean, what were you hoping for? Were you hoping to see substitutions or just tactical tweaks, or what? You know, at halftime, I mean, you're going there, you're 1-1, and you're like, you're in the ascendancy. They've done absolutely the sweet sum of nothing since they scored.
Yeah, they done nothing since they hadn't had a shot since the 10th minute. So they went 37 minutes, I think, without a shot on their goal. And I wasn't looking for substitutions. I was delighted with the goal, don't get me wrong. And, you know, it was telling that Gakpo gets a run at the defender. And that's what you want happening, because, like you said, you had Cody and you had, what's that fella's name? Vestergaard, is it, or whatever his name is. They're quite
money for ages.
Yeah, they're quite happy to sit, you know, between the posts, really, as centre halves and try and mop everything up. But they don't want to be coming out into them wide positions and stuff like that. And Liverpool probably should have moved them around a little bit more. But I was delighted with the goal. But I was even more delighted that we got in at half time and Slot could get hold of them, because we banged on for years about Jurgen Klopp getting his team at half time, showing them stuff, you know, re-emphasizing what he wants us to do and stuff. I mean, we were excellent in second halves of games under Klopp, especially tight ones, you know, where we questions, you kind of come off at half time going, that wasn't great. Yeah, Klopp will sort it. And 9 times out of 10 he did. I think Slot has the same effect, because he really massively looks into what's going on. And we heard it earlier in his Liverpool career, you know, he's pointing out 3 things. A player will come off the pitch, top of the world, great win, and he go 1, 2, 3. There are 3 problems. And listen, I'm not having a go at you, but there are 3 problems we see, and this is how you sort it. I'm not being a prick about it, just you know, you probably know yourself it's a problem. Here's how we think we fix it. And getting in a half time, no, I wasn't looking for substitutions, because I think that defeats the point or the purpose of picking that 11 and resting some players. I just wanted them to keep going. I wanted them to be as persistent as they were, and add that bit of quality, like you said. If you can stretch them a bit more, it gives a bit more room in the box. But honestly, I was going into the second half, Kev, thinking, start this one fast, and I think we'll score. And then when we score, will they come out and play? Probably not. But I believe in us to go and get 3 or 4. We get 3 in the end. But no, half time, I was delighted with the goal. I was delighted Slot got hold of them, and yeah, I was dying for the second half to start. To be fair,
same. Well, I was as well, because in fairness, was Damien Delaney in the doing the halftime show, so my earphones just went off, and as soon as I saw the teams coming back out for the second half,
if I had to watch that, I would literally throw my own head in the bin.
That and Kenny Cunningham was enough it's soul destroying, I swear to God. But actually, we do come out flying in the second half, and it was more of the same, you know, complete total domination again. I forgot to say it, actually. At the very start of the game, they turned us around.
I know, I hate that.
I hate that as well. It's like,
it just bugs me. And I felt like it was foggier at the Kop than it was at the other side of the pitch. It was probably just nonsense.
Yeah,
but
it was weird.
It was one of those. I hate when they do that.
Well, who turned us around recently? Who turned us around?
City turned us around. City turned us
around as well, yeah.
And then someone that was visiting from Europe turned us around as well. I forget who that was, but
it wasn't Bologna.
I don't know. But anyway,
was it Madrid?
It might have been.
No. We shot into the Anfield Road in the fourth half against Madrid.
Oh, I don't know. If anyone in the chat can remember, let us know.
Someone will.
And while you're there, hit the like button, subscribe, all that lovely good stuff if you're new to it, because it's Stephen's night and Boxing night. There's not going to be too many places that are live tonight. But hit the like button, just gets the show across to more people. And the other side as well, in the link, the description for the channel is the charity partners that we're trying to raise money for. Is Fan Sporting Food Banks, which everybody knows about, especially at this time of year, and the Lighthouse Cafe in Dublin. Anyone who's regular, you all know about it now. I'm not going to say it too much, but if you can support, please do. If you can't, share the link. You never know who's going to see it. Ashley, 4 minutes in, you can see the tactical tweaks straight away.
Yeah.
For me, because Curtis Jones was much closer to Mo Salah.
He was.
And
He was doing that signature Szoboszlai late run that was pulling their defense apart, and we saw it to so much effect. Like, it was so effective against Spurs, and it's something that I think Jones is capable of doing. Like, Jones is capable of playing that Szoboszlai role just as well as Szoboszlai is, but it's what we were missing in the first half to just give their defense something to think about. It was a little bit too route one in the first half, and I think you said kind of like more of the same in the second half. And attacking wise, yes, but I think Slot tweaked it, and I think we saw a lot more precision in and around their box that just it was pulling them around everywhere, and it immediately paid off. I mean, it was between McAllister and Jones that there was just this intricate passing between them where McAllister overlapped, and then Jones got the shot, Jones got the goal, and a great way to just cap off. I think it was 100 Premier League appearances. There's a couple of great quotes about Klopp messaging him after the game, but it's just he deserved it. He deserved that goal. I think he was actually quite good today. One thing I'll say is the 2 or 3 minute forensic investigation after that goal and the second goal absolutely did my head in. Hated it.
Gab, you love VAR so much. I mean, we've had some right discussions over the years with VAR.
Yeah.
What do you make of it? Because if this didn't scream, get the automated technology in, nothing did. Because
I just couldn't understand why it was taking so long. What were he looking at? Like, genuinely, what were he fucking looking at?
They were looking at Mo Salah being offside, whether or not he was offside.
Yeah, but
it was kind of like it wasn't like multiple phases, but it was at the very beginning of the play, and then there was just a whole bunch of other stuff that happened in between. So it felt like one of those ones where they went searching for a way.
So far back, yeah. So far back.
It was so far back.
And the thing is, like, how far back do you go? Like, does the ball have to go into the other half for that to be right? That's that period of play over. What is it like? And don't get me wrong, I remember one going back a few years ago. Might have been Mason Mount playing for Chelsea against us, and he's offside, and they go back and they go, listen, he's actually offside when he plays it to this guy across, and it's probably only one phase or two phases. But then you go back to the one, was it McAllister handball one away in Europe last year, and it was like, that
was like three or four phases back.
Yeah,
and
but the thing is, like,
afterwards saying, oh, it shouldn't have been disallowed.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, again, right, if we knew, and probably is the real probably is out there, we're probably just fucking idiots, but I don't think we are, right? But if we knew, right, listen, lads, that goal's gone in, they're actually allowed to go back to the last time a Leicester touched the ball. Leicester player touched the ball. Then we can go from there and see Liverpool is constantly at the ball. Did a player receive the ball in an offside position? But I don't know if that's true. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
So again, we don't know how far back they're meant to go. And this is, again, I keep saying it. And listen, we're nearly into 2025, and I'm not going to stop fucking saying it. Grey areas all the fucking time. Grey areas all the time.
They live in the grey.
They're there for a reason, so they can have an area to, fall back on.
It wasn't just that one. They were looking at Darwin as well in that.
When he flicked it back.
When he flicked it back.
Yeah.
To see if he was offside.
From my eye, he was miles on.
Yeah, I didn't see a problem with that. Because I thought Mo was close. That one was closer on replay than I thought.
Well, that's the third goal that was then ruled offside. Like, there were two separate instances where VAR was trying to So Jones's goal, they tried to forensically analyze it. That took 2 or 3 minutes, and then you had a separate VAR intervention with the Nunez Mo thing. That was a completely different thing, and that took like 5 minutes. That was ridiculous.
Yeah, but my thing is, right, if they, and I'm using this is very presumptuous of me, if they know the rules in the VAR thing, right, why aren't they, while the game is going on, having someone on the side going, yeah, listen, there's actually an offside there. So if this actually leads to anything, we're able to go straight to the ref and go, listen, there was 10 passes ago, Mo Salah was offside, so they never lost the ball. He was actually offside. We've looked it up. There's no need for a 3-minute delay. The goal doesn't stand. And then that's fine. But they all seem to fucking sit there, right, eating selection boxes from Christmas, and it all happens, and then they go, rewind that fucking 3 minutes there. We'll all just sit here for 3 minutes watching it in real time while fucking 60,000 people in fog fucking and millions around the world have to just wait for us to watch this in real time. You know what I mean? I'd say these are the sort of people that watch telly, right? And when they watch telly, they clearly can fast forward it, right? Because you can go through the ads because they paused it before it started, but then they just decide, no, do you know what? I'll actually watch the ads. I'll watch. I don't need to watch them, but I'll fucking watch them. Like let the world wait on me. And honestly, it goes fucking so far back. Just fucking either have the information at hand straight away, or listen. That was fucking 2 minutes ago, lads. We're not even checking it. Good luck. And that's the way it should be, but it won't be because they're idiots.
Well, I mean, that by the time the goal was awarded, it was on 50 minutes. Right? It was scored on 46. It was awarded on 50. And starts off again. And again, Leicester don't come out. I thought they looked to try to. Justin
we're
was
getting
trying.
mad phone interference here. I don't know. I've moved mine.
I moved mine as well. I can move it further.
I'm over there out the way. Is that me?
Yeah, all right. That's
all
okay.
right. Sorry. Yeah, I know.
Probably Stockley Park trying to ring us to tell us.
Tell them to shut up.
But they can fuck off.
Stop talking about VAR. You're bringing attention to it.
They can definitely do one. But I'd say for the next 20 minutes, we just started pulling them about.
Mm-hmm.
But we were pulling them about while managing the game. They never really got a kick, got a touch in anything. And they were snuffed out really easy. And I thought you could tell Trent the back four really became a back four until we were so far advanced that they all came forward then. We were really disciplined and held our shape and held the ball and rested on the ball. And it wasn't until the second VAR instance that happened on 68 minutes. I, for the life of me, couldn't see anything wrong with that goal.
I can.
Until later.
Yeah.
But how tight was this one? Gav, how tight was that?
It's tight, but it's offside. And, I've seen people going, what's going on here? And you're like, well, he's beyond the last defender. And when Salah tries to put it across, he's beyond him. If you draw the lines, he's beyond him. People go, but he's behind Salah. He's behind the ball. And you're like, oh, he's behind Salah. And you're like, yeah, but he's not behind the ball.
Not behind the ball.
Salah doesn't matter. The ball does. When the ball is played, where is he? And that's it, in that instance. You know what I mean? All you have to do is, don't get me wrong, if he's behind Salah, you know what I mean? If he's behind the ball, it doesn't matter where the defender is because he's behind the ball. But he's not. He's ahead of the ball. Now, just the way Salah's foot is, he's behind Salah. And you don't draw the line from the guy that's playing the ball. You draw it from when the ball is kicked, where are the two players? So yeah. I could see it's all, to me, it is offside. But again,
shouldn't have taken that long though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like if it's offside, right? They're literally going, draw the lines. He's beyond the last defender. Is he beyond the ball? Yeah, he's beyond the ball. Grant, just fucking away we go. Like, yeah. But that's part of that probably is, lads, we're constantly making a mess of this. We're probably going to have to absolutely research this to the nth degree to try not make a mistake. But then they're taking 3 minutes to do it. He's offside. Yeah. If that ball is on Salah's right foot rather than his left, he's fine. He's behind Salah's foot. He's fine. But he's not. He's ahead of the ball. And once he's ahead of the ball, it doesn't matter where Salah's feet are. It's him and the defender, and he's offside. And that's just the way it goes. But yeah.
But I mean, it was frustrating. 4 minutes again that took. And we were promised semi-automated offside in October.
They're not ready for it, Kev.
It's not going to come now.
They've actually come out and said that they don't even think it's going to come in this year.
No,
it won't come in this year.
They think that they can't put it this late in the season because it's going to change the competition.
Yep.
How? Offside is offside. It just means I don't.
Because I'll tell you why, Kev. Because I'll tell you why. Because you can argue the element of error in the VAR now is the margin of error, although minimal, will be higher than automated offsides, which is it's a much more complex way of reading it and finding it. And even if you think it's better or worse, if it's any way different, it's a change in the competition because people would argue, oh, we had 20 games under this set of rules and now we've 20 games under that set of rules. But having said that, right, to contradict myself, they change the penalty rules as the fucking season goes on. They change the yellow cards. They change if you can annoy a referee. Yeah, they change everybody fucking like. This is, when it comes to things like this, any help to them is kicked back against. And that's the truth. Simple as that.
Well, they also said that it's just plain not working. Like they've tested the technology, and there's blind spots, and there's different things that it's not performing properly, and that so it's not just about it being instilled late in the season and having that be an advantage or a disadvantage, how you want to look at it. It's also that their technology, which they insist on being different than the rest of the world because they think they're better than everyone else, it's not working. So they have to figure that shit out too. So
well, as Matt says, let Tony Bellew draw the lines on his
That was
phone.
amazing.
And, that was the best.
Yeah, that was one of the best, in fairness.
Well,
what do you think of that, Tony? Hold on there, and I get me pen and ruler out, and I just start scrawling all over my iPhone. Amazing.
Well, 82 minutes in, and we get the comfort plan. I mean, I always felt, I suppose 2-1, you're always sat there as like one misplaced pass because we were overcommitting at times, and while we were dominating the ball, and if you're overcommitting and losing the bad area, they do have the pace to hurt you. But the comfort blanket comes on 82 minutes, Ashley. My favourite part of this goal, apart from, the finish was beautiful. Cody Gakpo takes the ball, and the common sense, simple thing to do is lay that back to Virgil or lay it back to Robertson. But he does a trick, and he lays a pass out to Mo. And from there, we talked about the trademark Gakpo goal earlier. That was a trademark Salah goal. And
it was.
Again, pure precision. And
it wasn't, if you actually look back, it was actually more complicated than, like, we see him do that. It's like, oh, it's so easy. He just passed it into the back of the net. But he actually lifts the ball over Christensen's leg because Christensen's there trying to block that shot. And he just lifts it ever so slightly and then just passes it into the back of the net. And the precision that he's able to get, you can tell that he is just at the peak of his powers right now. And I think there's an argument that Slot's actually made Mo better in a way that I did not see coming. I didn't think that Mo Salah could get better. I think that we've always looked at him as this amazing, lethal finisher. But I genuinely think that he's reached a new level this year. And I don't know if that's because he's been rested for a full season or a full summer, that we haven't seen that before. I don't know if it's because there's no AFCON for him to be distracted by, but he's performing at a level that I didn't even think that he could get back to. And it was another one of those games where he was a little bit out of it. Like he didn't seem as involved as the Spurs game, but you knew that he would stay in it. And if he just got that one chance, that he would make it happen. And I don't know how many games that is now with a goal or an assist. He has a goal involvement going back, like, I don't know, more than 10 games at this point. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, he's arguably in the best form of his life since probably his first season, I think of.
Yeah, look.
His overall game, his overall game, I don't know if it's been better.
Look, Salah is a specimen of a man. You look at him and he just looks to get fitter, stronger, more toned. Apparently he's in the gym.
Is that even possible?
I don't think it is. I think he's a fucking disgrace, putting all other men to shame, to be fair. But like apparently he's going into the gym and just bouncing off walls to see if he can stand up against them and stuff like that. So, but we spoke earlier about Gakpo and his trademark. I think this is fast becoming Salah's trademark. And what I mean by that is that when we talk about Salah and adjusting his game and different things like that, Salah used to just get players and burn them, down the outside, burn them, and be that quick that he could actually get it back on his left foot from the right wing and put it in. What you're seeing from him now is that because he's developed this game, more of this side of the game, I suppose, because many times we see Salah get that in position in the last 6 months, and he looked like he's going to take you on, and then he just hits one with the outside of his foot across the box. Someone taps it in. Whereas if you go back to 2017, 18, 19, 20, whatever, Salah would have just went, I'm just going past you on the outside, and then I'll deal with it. If it has to be right footed, I will, or if I can get it back on my left, I will. But what you're seeing now from him is there's so many different elements to him. And I'm not saying there wasn't elements to him before, but there's so many different elements for a defender to worry about now. So if he's facing up a Leicester defender, they're thinking, he still has it in him to burst by me on the outside. He still has it in him to come inside and bend in the far corner. But then against that, he still has it in him to pick out a pass probably no one else in the pitch can pick out. Now you're worried about 3 scenarios. Where do you go with him? Do you get tight to him and hope he goes outside and you get lucky? Do you stand off him and he bends it in the top corner? Or do you half go? And when you half go, you leave that little gap and he puts it in there and someone else scores. He's a phenomenal player. And like, you know, I think that's 230 goals now for Liverpool. It's 332 goal involvements in 380 games or something like that, right? I don't have the exact numbers, but just look at him. He has an okay game today, but he's constantly a threat because they know what he's at. But just the change in him and the different elements to when he's attacking you at that speed. You used to be able to go, I'll chase him on the outside, but now he can do anything. He can do anything to you.
Yeah.
And that wasn't there in his early days. In his early days, he wasn't picking out the pass. He was so fucking selfish and driven that I'm either coming inside, I'm hitting this, or I'm going outside and I'm hitting it. And now look at the goals he set up. Like, you know what I mean? Go back to the Chelsea goal at the start of last season. He gets the ball down the side and you're thinking he's going to run at someone here now. And he just plays a ball whipping on the outside of his left foot into Diaz, and Diaz scores. He's done it so many times. He's just a phenomenal player, and people are asking about contracts and stuff. No, and the scary thing is, we're 6 days off him being able to talk to enough clubs, and that's the truth of the matter. And it should never, ever, ever have got this far, but it has.
Yep, but we are where we are on that. I mean, look, the contract stuff will get sorted one way or another. Virgil come out and said there's no time limit on it. I think it's pretty clear from what's coming out, from what's being said and what's not being said. 2 senior players want to stay. I think there's definitely deals to be done there. I'm not overly worried, even though they will be able to talk to other clubs. The idea that they're not wanted by other clubs is ludicrous anyway. They know they're going to be in demand. It's just going to be a case of how much they want to stay. I suppose the big fear is that we go on and win everything. And what's left to do? And that's possible. It's possible that we could do bits in Europe this season and win the league. You know, all going well. We get lucky with injuries and we get a decent draw in Europe. We could go very deep in a lot of competitions.
Yeah, but I don't think.
I'm thinking more of Trent on that one.
Well, look, listen. I don't know what's going on with any of them. You know, there has been talk that Salah has come out and said no, there's nothing happening or whatever, and you know, seems fairly fucking relaxed about it. Virgil's the same. Trent, you know, you can read into body language, you can read into interviews he's doing, whatever way you want to read it. But at the end of the day, the only thing Trent's ever said on it, right, to play devil's advocate a bit, is he clearly came out and said, I've signed multiple contracts at this football club and none of them are ever played out in public, and this one won't be any different, right? But the reason Trent is put into a different category, I suppose, the other two are 32 and 33 years of age. It's going to be that last top contract, you know. Trent, it's going to be his biggest ever contract, right? There's a difference. So we don't know. We don't know what's happening. And I've said it ages, and I'll stick with it. I want them all to stay. I want them all to stay. I want them all to sign deals. But I'd rather just be sorted. Whether they're going or staying, I'd rather them just come out and say, listen, it's not going to happen. We're going to be here at the end of the season. We're going to give it everything. And everyone can just go really upset over that. But listen, there is a title to be won. I can't see any of them players winning the title this season and going, you know what? We've won it all. I'm going somewhere else. Because bar 2 or 3 teams on this planet, you're going and you're not winning. That's it. You're going, you're not winning.
Yeah. Well, Ashley, you just put a quote in there from Virgil. Do you want to read it out there?
This was from right before today's game. And people can make of it what they want. I mean, his quote basically is, I love Liverpool. The club loves me. I love the fans, and the fans love me. In my opinion, I can play for another 3 or 4 years at least. We will see what the future brings. And the way it was spun by the media after this came out was that it sounded positive and that it sounded like, you know, he's obviously made it clear that he doesn't want to leave the club. You know, I think that this is whether it's Salah or Virgil, I think it's down to just fine tuning the agreements. I mean, for Virgil to say, you know, I think I can play for 3 to 4 years. I mean, I don't know if the club's going to offer him a 4-year contract. I don't know, not with his age. And so I could see that being a discussion that's, you know, being had. And you have to think it's one of their last contracts. At least their last big contracts, whether it's Mo or Virgil. I think with Trent, it's a little bit different. I mean, you talk about like winning things and whether or not that would have anything to do with it. Like, I think my main fear would be like if they were ready for retirement and they were going to do like a Tony Cruz thing and just kind of mic drop when they won everything. But I don't think that's where they are. Personally, I still stand by what I said earlier this year, where I think that Virgil and Salah stay. And I think Trent's the one wild card. And I think the thing with Trent is, you heard Carragher talk about it. It's up to him if he wants to build that legacy at this club. And I think, if Madrid comes knocking, I get it. Like, that's the club that everyone wants to play for growing up. But at the same time, I don't always think the grass is greener. I genuinely don't. And I think that, he's at a club that is currently competing for the highest honors. They are, at this point in time, probably a better or not, if not equal team to Real Madrid. And I don't know if that's worth taking the gamble, because that's what it would be if Trent was to leave. I think it'd be a major gamble. I genuinely don't think that he would have the same successful career. I think if he stayed with us, his ceiling is higher. I think if he goes to Madrid, I think that he could have a few years of success and maybe have some shiny, bright things. But I think that his star would dim in a way that, almost the same way that Grealish, when he left Villa, he thought he was going on to bigger and better things, but he lost it. And I kind of think that might be what happens to Trent if he leaves. It's fair. My personal opinion. I don't know.
No, I think it's fair. I mean, back to the game.
Kev, just quickly on it. We talk about these contracts and we talk them as individual deals, but then you have to talk to them about, well, is Trent looking for what fucking Virgil's on, or is Virgil looking for what Salah's on, and we kind of think that one is kind of negating the other. Salah will get the same terms for 2 more years plus an option. Virgil will probably get a little bit of improved terms, but not Salah money for 2 years plus an option. And then Trent will come along and go, well, I want fucking, that's the way people are perceiving it, and probably right to perceive it that way, because Trent is on about 180 grand a week, I think. Yeah. Somewhere around that, I think.
He's not getting paid more at Madrid. Like, no.
We don't know, but the thing is,
I don't think so.
He might look and go, listen, I want an extra 10 million or 15 million over
signing bonus and everything.
Yeah, he get that. But I think when people look at it and think, oh, one's going against the other, it's probably not. It's probably the rest. They're probably looking at each other going, well, I'm willing to fucking sign, but I don't want to go into a team next season without these two. That sort of way, because, like, let's be honest about it. If you take the free contract or the free transfer stuff out of it, right? If Liverpool were trying to sign a player, say Trent was a player we were looking to sign, right? If Trent's in negotiations with Liverpool Football Club to play for the next season, he's probably looking going, really good side, but fucking Van Dijk and Salah gone. That's a fucking 2 massive holes in that team. And I'm coming into a team now that has to be the next team with both those gone. They're probably looking at each other going, well, if they get it done, I'll fucking do it. So, look, the only thing about it is, regardless of what way the players are thinking, the club is thinking, whatever else, we're on the 26th of December. In 6 days' time, they're open. They can talk to any club outside of the UK.
Yeah. And they no doubt are going to get off. Do you know what I think would be really interesting? How fast offers do come. If offers are to come, how fast they come.
Well, even if they don't come, what's going to happen is the 4th of January is going to land. Liverpool hopefully have gone away to West Ham and won. They have Manchester United in 4 days' time. And the media are going to sit for 4 days trying to rock boats all over the place with regards to Liverpool and Salah and Van Dijk and Trent going into the game against United, which could be an absolutely season-defining game. It could be one where you go, fuck, they've won again, and now they're 12 points clear or whatever it is. So that's what you want. That's my biggest thing on it. They stay. They don't. But can we just fucking clarify as to what's happening?
Exactly. I think that's the most important thing. You don't want a situation like we had last year when Jurgen Klopp was leaving. You don't want long goodbyes. You just want make a decision.
It may well be possible that 2 of these 3 are settled and 1 of the 3 is holding up the train. Because I asked this question of the Telegram. If 2 of these players have agreed to a deal, would you announce the 2 right away, or would you hold out and try to get all 3?
Clarification on the 3 even.
Because I mean, I kind of feel like that's where we're at. I have no ITK knowledge at all. But I kind of feel like 2 of them are almost done. And I feel like one of them is holding up the rest of the train. And I think that, you know, if you were to announce, let's just say for argument's sake, if you were to announce that Salah and Virgil were extending, and that would be fantastic. But I can only imagine what would happen to Trent then. I can only imagine what the fans would do, even if there was no clarification whatsoever about whether he was staying or going, and it was just sort of up in the air. I feel like he would get absolute pelters.
Yeah, but I think that the sensible people in the room would turn around and go, well, listen, they're 32 and 33. They're signing that deal. They know where they're going. They know where the direction of their career is going and what's going to happen in 2027 when they leave, right? And they'll be 36 and 35 years of age, whatever it is, both maybe 36. But the Trent one is different. It's not his last contract. It's his biggest ever contract. It will be his biggest contract. Because if he signs a 5-year extension at Liverpool, right, he's going to earn possibly an extra 10, 15 million quid, right? And when he gets to whatever he'd be 31 at the end of that, I think. He's about 26 now, isn't he? Yeah.
He's 26.
And he's not going to get that same contract again. He's just not. He's going to end up in the situation Virgil van Dijk and Mo Salah are in. You know, they're trying to negotiate here, but two of them are very similar and one is completely different. And that's not me protecting or standing by Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't know what the fuck's going on. You'll only kind of form an opinion when it's all done and dusted.
Yeah, I don't know if you heard the clip that went around about Paolo Maldini and what he did when he was at AC Milan.
Yes.
Did you hear that one?
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard it, Ashley.
No,
Basically, didn't. Paolo Maldini came out early-ish in his career when he was one of the best players in the world at the time. And he said, I want to be... He put it in his contract that he would be the second highest paid player at AC Milan for his entire contract. And every time he renewed his contract, that was the case. The thing was that with AC Milan at the time, they were continuously signing the world's best player. And no matter what happened, that player would come in, get a big bumper pay rise, and then suddenly, when the next one comes in, Paolo Maldini would always get a bump in his pay right up until... And right the way through his career. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're Paolo Maldini, you can do it. And when your name is Maldini and you're at Milan, you can do it. But I thought that was probably the cleverest bit of business that I've ever heard happen with a player's contract ever. Didn't have to say, I want to be the highest player. He just said, I want parity with the second highest player that comes in, because he knew what was happening. He could read the situation at the club. But look, all the stuff with the transfers will get sorted out in the fullness of time, no doubt about it. We'll find out when there's something to find out. Throughout, I mean, we're 3-1 up. A rake of substitutions happened. We got to see Szoboszlai came on, Jota came on, and Dominic got booked. But I think it was a good booking to take at the time because it was 2-1. They were on a counter. Yeah, he probably would have got covered, but I honestly think with that amount of players on 4 yellow cards, someone was always going to get a booking. And the thing is, the way we play dominating the ball so much, odds are the three in midfield are going to be tested. One is going to be that one guy to take the team, to take the yellow for the team. And that's just the way, it's just unfortunate. And he took the yellow, happy days. We got the goal. Costas came on. Endo came on. Loved that. Yep. Harvey Elliott comes on at the end for McAllister with a few minutes to go. And we see the game out 3-1 and deserved winners in the end. And you look at the table now, we played 17. We're still 42 points, which is phenomenal. Scored 40 goals already this season, conceded only 17. Goal difference of plus 23. We're absolutely flying it at the minute, so we're a game in hand and 7 points now to Chelsea, which is a 3-game turnaround, irrespective of the game in hand. So,
plus the extra point with goal difference.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, we're guaranteed to be top on New Year's Day, no matter what happens. But go to, look back at, you normally go through who you'd have as man of the match and honorable mention and who could do better. Ashley, you shoot first.
I'm going to give man of the match to Gakpo. I think that, his energy and, he was just peppering crosses in for the first half. I think that his goal was the turning point of the whole game. I think it was the perfect time to score. I think it reestablished dominance. And I think just in general, I just thought it was a great game from him. I think honorable mention quietly, I think, was Gomez. I think that he had a really, really solid defensive performance. There were a few times where he put in some really fantastic tackles on Mamadidi. And I think that, he's just, once he gets a run of games, he shows his quality. And I think that we're seeing kind of it harken back to that old Gomez and Virgil partnership that won us the league. And I think it's just a really nice parallel that we're seeing now. Could do better. It's not a new pick, but it's Nunes. He was driving me nuts the first half. And I think it was one of those days where I just felt like nothing was coming off for him. I felt like there were so many crosses going into the box and they were really trying to play to his strengths. And whether he was offside or he just wasn't connecting with the ball, I don't know. I don't like to hate on players, but he was just driving me nuts.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Darwin today, I thought his work off the ball was really good. His pressing, his recoveries, everything you want a false nine to do was fine. His passing wasn't right. He only made, while you were giving me the names, I was just had a look at their passing. Cody Gakpo, for the position that he plays in, had 92% pass accuracy. Joe Gomez had 93%. Darwin had 53% pass accuracy.
Okay, so the eye test isn't wrong, basically, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, given the position that he plays, you're expecting him to take the ball in and lay it off. Or, you're never going to have a high passing percentage accuracy if you're playing as a striker. But at the same time, 3 shots, 1 on target. The 1 on target was a brilliant pass put in by Mo. He got a really good connection on it. Went shot to the near post and got a good save. But there were a few headers that he should have done better with. And, endeavour, work rate, everything was there. It's just, he needs a goal for me.
I just feel like you're seeing, and it's been said by other people, I'm not the first person that's going to say this, but you see so many players improving under Slot, and I don't see him improving. I want to see him improve. And I feel like he's doing things off the ball. And I think that that's been like a crutch that we've all leaned on to try to kind of, he's good. He's improving. He's this. But I feel like there's only so much that you can lean on that crutch. Yeah. At some point, you have to put the ball in the back of the net if you're going to play a number 9 for this particular club. And if you're not going to play that kind of number 9, then you have to play like the Diaz Jota number 9 that's doing a hell of a lot more. And right now he's kind of right between the two. He's neither one nor the other. And I think that's his problem. Like, he's not delivering as a pure number 9, and he's definitely not a false 9. He's just living in this kind of in between that isn't really effective.
Yeah. Gav, who would you have? And by the way, I look like a ref. I wear my shirt.
It's a little Newcastle-y.
It's a little Newcastle.
No, it's a little bit WWE fucking referee.
Yeah, WWE referee. I've had another one earlier on in the chat. They were saying it looks like a Collingwood rugby shirt.
I'm waiting
AFL
for fucking
shirt.
Jim Ross to come on the mic here and give it the big one.
Stone cold.
To be fair, Ashley named her too, and I had the exact same too. Gakpo. A few people have mentioned, Gakpo reminded them of Mane tonight. Gakpo for me will never play centrally for Liverpool again, because he's physically dominating out there, right? Which is often overlooked. He has pace, he's power, he's an eye for goal, he's good in the air. He's the perfect he's the perfect wide man that can affect games in the box as well. And Mane was like that. I'm not putting him on Mane's level for the moment, just to let people know. But Mane was brilliant at going at you, coming inside you, looking to link on the back post, great in the air. I can see the similarities as to what Gakpo's trying to do and what Mane did do. He's a long way to go to be Mane's level at Liverpool, in my opinion, because Mane was phenomenal. But I did think he was the spark today. I thought, they look to sort out Salah, and that's fair enough. Nunes, I just don't think the way we play football suits him. And I'm not 100% the way we play football suits Jota either, by the way. But I think it will be quite telling probably this time next year who's playing centre forward for Liverpool. And I couldn't guarantee it's going to be Núñez or Jota, to be fair.
Jota, yeah.
I don't know what it is. Jota maybe suits it a bit more. But balls into the box like that isn't Núñez's strength. It's just not. Do you know what I mean? It's just not. But Núñez doesn't seem to have this where he's a killer in the box, sniffing out chances. A bit like Curtis Jones did for the goal, to be fair. Just one of those where he's standing in the right spot and puts it away. But he's having a hard time. But we're going to need him. We're going to need him because the way the season's going, we're not going to sign another forward. Chiesa's coming into the reckoning. Salah's there. Diaz, they're all there. But we're going to need them. And there will be times where we go, this is quite a handy game. We need to put Núñez in and rest A, B, or C, and that's the part he's going to play. That's fair enough. But I agree. I think he needs a goal. Joe Gomez really impressed me. He gets a yellow, probably a bit harsh. I don't know, but
barely clipped his heel.
It's a little. It's one of the
ref. I looked up his record, and he loves a yellow card.
Yeah, and most of them do. But you know what? I just thought Gomez throughout the game was kept it simple, done his job. Passed it where it needed to be passed, intercepted where it needed to be intercepted. I thought Trent was quite good on the ball. Overall in the game, I thought Trent was good. Bar the set piece stuff. McAllister done really well, but I'll stick with the two. Actually, I'd actually, when she was saying it, I was kind of nodding in agreement. He's my man of the match, and honourable mention would be Joe Gomez.
Yeah, I don't think there's any arguments in that. The only one I'd throw in would be McAllister with 2 assists. His overall work rate in midfield. Because Gravenberch, for the first time in a while, got ahead of the ball a lot. But that was really because of how deep we forced Leicester to play. You don't need 2 City midfielders when your 2 centre-backs are occupying halfway through their half. So he found himself playing on either wing. And we really were playing more of a traditional 4-3-3 for the vast majority of that game. But that was mainly due to the accuracy of the passing and the control that we had in the game. But I look, Darwin definitely could do better. Other than overall, everyone played okay. I don't think there was any. No one left anything down.
Listen, Kev, we played 90 minutes.
Of
football, and we didn't, and we conceded 2 shots. Really, when you think about it, if you take it from the 10th minute to the time the whistle finishes, they don't have a shot on their goal in 90 minutes of football.
No,
that's the truth.
I think it was at 88 minutes that they popped up the graphic. It was 53-5 touches in the opposition box, and there were more that came for us after that. So it was total domination. I think it's one of those games where if you watch it back without the emotion, you're probably like, this was a walk in the park. I think the only reason it felt like there was drama was just because, because of the day's activities, because of where we were in the table, and we just needed to get over the line. So, but overall, I think it was pretty dominant.
Yeah. We'll skip through some of the post-match comments, Ashley.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, but we'll fire through as many as we can.
So Andy Robertson on Slot, he talked about how he tweaks our role in every single game tactically. He's unbelievable. Continues, the manager demands more. I don't think we are quite perfect in his eyes, and that's what we want. He continues, you have to play different ways in different weeks. We've done that all season. We've adapted well. We have to keep doing it. You don't win anything in December. He continued, as long as we all try to stay fit and do well, we know we have a squad that can compete for anything. The lads coming off the bench and the attitude is spot on.
Jesus, Andy Robertson has an awful lot to say.
I know, he had a lot to say. Mo Salah was interviewed after the match. He basically just said, I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. And he continued, this game was very special. Hopefully we win the Premier League for this club. I really want to win the Premier League. And in his interview, he actually was asked whether or not this season felt different. And he said, yes, it did feel different. And he did feel like they were building towards something. Going back to the Andy Robertson quotes, he said, I've always said when we have been in a fortunate position leading the way, if fans are getting carried away, we are doing something right on the pitch. We should allow the fans to get carried away. We'll let the fans have a drink tonight and celebrate the win. We'll be straight home and we'll get ready for West Ham. Slot had a few quotes post-match. He said, Van Dijk, Trent, and Mo Salah contracts. We don't talk about that in public, same thing. There was a little bit of chat with Curtis Jones. We talked about this ourselves. He said, we talk all the time about let's start fast. And then we go out there and concede a goal against a team who sit back and make it harder. It's something that we've got to change. He continued, it is game after game. In the past, we've been top of the league. At the same time now, we've seen a little bit of a dip, but we've spoken about it. ... This cannot happen. If we win every single game now, you know where it is at the end of the season. And he keeps going. He said, I've had a hard run. My career has been up and down for different reasons, injuries and stuff, but I'm playing games and I'm enjoying it. Back to Arne Slot now. He said, the first and third goal was quite similar. A winger 1v1 dominating his opponent and putting the ball in the corner. He continued, I think the performance-wise was really good. The only thing that was frustrating was that after 10 to 15 minutes, we went 1-0 down, and after 1-1, we took over. Jones, again, he said, we still have a long way to go. There's plenty of games. We'll take each game as it comes, and we'll try to win all the games. When he was asked about Jurgen Klopp, he said he's still in touch with the whole team. He's a great man. He is loved, I think it means by all of us. He set up the foundation for this team and what we've got. Slot is just carrying it on. And then we already went through that with the quote with Virgil where he said that, he loves Liverpool, the club loves him. He loves the fans love him. He thinks that he can play for another 3 or 4 years and he'll see what the future brings.
And this came in as well tonight. It was a 99 pence.
You can read that one out.
7-inch Dark Destroyer. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it.
That's fantastic.
But all in all, look.
Put the effort in to make that is amazing.
Some interesting quotes.
All in all, look, that was a really dominant, total control game of football, despite the nerves that were showing. They were there for all of us, really, because you never know how a game like that can go when you're one down and you're hitting the post, you're hitting the crossbar. So you need that one to go in. And we got it to go in at the perfect time, and we ran out comfortable winners in the end, to be fair. Yeah. But all in all, good night, really, yeah?
Top of Christmas, top of Boxing Day, top at New Year's Eve. What more can you ask for?
Yeah. Toby's had a good introduction to the night.
I know. He's been all right.
He's been very well.
He's been fine.
No barking?
No barking. He's allowed back.
Yeah, we'll have him back. He's cute as you like, anyway.
Yeah, I coughed a few times and there was interference from a phone somewhere, so no doubt there'll be people on looking for the channel to be closed down off the back of it. So
sorry about that.
What can we do?
Nah, we'll be back again, no doubt, for West Ham, for the trip to West Ham.
Yep.
But until then, everyone, thanks very much for joining. Make sure you hit like on the way out and subscribe if you haven't. Until the next night, we'll see you again soon. Take care. Thanks, Ash. Thanks, Kev.